Welcome back as we continue our conversation with Jim Harris. So we're talking here with Jim and kind of down to our last segment here, and like with theater or anything, you always save the best for last. And so we're talking about his time in Korea as an aircraft A&P mechanic, electrician, whatever, working on F-86s and P-80s and P-51s at his time there. And Jim here has an incredible story of what I'm going to call his own rescue mission of a pilot. And why don't you go ahead and share this with the audience there, because I think this is a real incredible little piece of history here. So go ahead and tell your story there.
Well, my story was I saw this airplane coming in with three flying above, three below, and one out in front. And I didn't know what was going on. But they were carrying this damaged F-86D in from North Korea to an air base to get it repaired.
So they were balancing it on their wings or something, correct?
Airfoil between.
The airfoils, okay, all right.
And I'd never seen that.
Oh.
But I have since, and it really worked. But in so doing, of all people, Ted Williams, and I had read of Ted Williams, but I didn't know anything about him.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew he was a ball player.
Mm-hmm.
So I became well versed on him.
Yeah, so you were, when everybody peeled off and landed, he managed to land his airplane down there.
They're directing him on what to do with his airplane because he's injured. He has no engine power or anything, so they have to direct him on how to fly that in to the runway and land it.
Right.
And it was very successful.
Yeah.
In fact, John Glenn told me afterwards, when he came back to talk to me, that he was rather excited that he was able to stop it at the end of the runway and not run off.
Right. So when you came back, or no, when you got him out of the airplane, he instructed you to not tell anybody who he was.
I had already knew that in my basic training at Lackland.
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned it to us. We weren't trained in combat.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know anything about using guns or killing people.
Right.
And they so far hadn't told me anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're nervous over there and dumb. Really dumb. But Ted told me real quickly, don't you tell a soul. You hear me?
Yeah.
And made me take a bow right there in front of him. So then John Glenn, that was the lead guy, had circled back around. He landed. And he taxied up and he said, did you get Ted to the medical? I said, he's in medical's hands. He's being taken care of. What do I do with the airplane and Ted when they get well? He handed me a card and he said, call this number. I saw then that he was from a naval force out in the bay. So okay, I'll call.
Yeah.
And that's all that was ever said about Ted Williams. Now, what really got me was when I came back from the service, these things start coming out. Within yourself, you got questions. So I want to talk about it. I can't talk about it. I carried that till I came here, was living right over here where I'm at, and I went to a breakfast. The veterans carry at Crazy Autos.
Yeah, okay.
I went to a breakfast and you got a guy gets up and says, anybody new here? So he asked us a question. I had to get this off of my back because it's making me sick.
Right.
And I can't say anything. So I said it. I said, I'm not supposed to talk about it, but I'm going to get it off my back. So I told him what happened. That's quite a story.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to go into.
Yeah.
By the way, you know the people who owns the Crazy Autos?
Oh, Jen. I know Jim Harris. Good guy, great veteran, Korean.
Well, they were over there, and I knew them as kids.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Yeah.
Now, Alvis comes out, and you just wake up one day, and sort of makes you sick.
Yeah.
But I had to get it off my chest.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you think back at the time, and of course, being in the military, we had a thing even when I was in there, and it was called the need to know, whether you needed to know something or not when it was there. But you know, you can imagine during the Korean War, if it ever got out that a North Korean had actually shot Ted Williams, an American iconic figure, they would have used that as propaganda.
Oh, yes.
They would have really rode that for all it was worth. So, and you understand this in later years. And there is a lot of things that come out. You know, you're finally able to get it off your chest, and we're glad you had that opportunity to do that, because that's a great story. So, you know, with that said, you know, I got to kind of wrap this up here. So I'm sure you have so much more to share with us, and we're going to have to get another opportunity to do this again and stuff, and we'll continue this on. But by the way, you became a tax preparer after you came out of the military. What did you do?
ARP does free taxes for seniors.
Okay.
Started out for seniors.
Uh-huh.
Now they do it for everybody.
Right.
Used to be people 60 and over, but I started that program as a tax preparer and had people on my crew. Now, when I started up here in the Antelope Valley, and I didn't tell you how I got to Antelope Valley, but I came from the service to here to visit what was my wife's real mother that gave birth to her in Kentucky, turned her over to her mother, my wife's grandmother.
Glad you keep this straight. That's amazing. So, yeah, and obviously you have so much more to your life you need to share and stuff, you know. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get you back in here and continue this on, because
I had to get all of this off my chest because I am now ill, and I'm shaken because I can't tell nobody, and I know all of this stuff.
Yeah. Well, we're here for you to make sure that you can say these things, okay? So, and we want to make sure that your legacy and your history continues on. And we've got it on film, and you're getting it off your chest now. I'll tell you that, and then it's all good. So, anyway, Jim, I'm going to thank you for this segment and coming in and letting us, you know, interview you, and thank you for your service. And you know, Shepherd, Lackland Air Force Base, you and I walked a lot of the same footage, man. And I'm proud to call you a brother in the Air Force, bud. So we'll wrap this up for now. And wow, just these are the greatest. This is the reason we do these shows. And we are very blessed to have people like Jim Harris in our presence. So thanks, Jim, and we will see you next time at AV Veterans Talk here at Aerotech News. Thank you for joining us for this installment of AV Veterans Talk here at Aerotech News.